Iconic Talk. This is your community's podcast with conversations about real estate, local happenings, and all things Winchester, Virginia. I'm Mark Francis, a local realtor, broker, and owner at Icon Real Estate.
And I'm Megan Eanes, a local realtor for 21 years and part of the Icon Real Estate team. Mark and I are so excited to share everything that we love about Winchester, Virginia with you. We want you to be an informed, savvy real estate consumer in today's ever-changing market.
Yep, if you want local knowledge, you've come to the right place. Well, Thursday, December 15th. Wow, halfway through the month. It is full swing Christmas season, and the weather, of course, is here as well.
We're fine. We've got December weather now, that's for sure.
Oh, good times. And let's just hope that, our city and town knows how to continue to clear the roads and be up to speed with all that stuff. I feel like over the years they've done a really good job with that.
I think so, too. And I think the schools have typically made pretty good decisions.
They're making way more conservative decisions than ever before, but that's, I guess, all part of it.
Well,
right?
Especially with Frederick County, there's, I forget what it is, like 400 or 500 miles of roads in the county. So
that's what you have to remember.
Yep. So even though it might be fine in Stephen City and, some of the little, more major places around 81 up in the mountains, Back Mountain Road and Gore and all that, you're in the mountains.
You are in the mountains.
So there's going to be
it's
weather.
Little tiny roads and back way roads. Sometimes they're even dirt, and so for kids to get to school safely, I can appreciate that.
Right.
But as a parent, you and I have experienced this many times over the years. You're thinking to yourself, what am I going to do with my kid who should be in school right now?
Well, and I think that's kind of easier.
And there's hardly anything going on out there.
It's gotten a little easier, I think, because of COVID, because everybody was in that same situation for, a year and a half, 2 years, however long we were going through with the school where some of the kids weren't. Well, Winchester, they didn't go. Whatever, I forgot what their schedule was, but I know Frederick County went like 2 days and then they were off for 3 and who knows. So I think parents have gotten more flexible.
Yeah, and something about doing school from home as a kid is just challenging. I know there's plenty of homeschoolers out there that experience that every day. But for us, doing school from home was a challenge. So on a snow day, I want a snow day to be legit. Don't force the kids to do schoolwork. Go out and play, have some fun. And then if they're supposed to be in school, go to school. Thankfully, we're out of that hybrid kind of way of learning right now.
I think they've gone back to, at least in the county, saying that snow days are snow days.
Yeah.
So no logging in.
I've got a senior, and he doesn't have senioritis yet, but it's getting close. When
it gets warmer is usually when that starts to kick in.
Yeah. Well, talking about the county, we've mentioned over the last couple of weeks, the county has an amazing Christmas season. I would call it an extravaganza.
Right.
Go out there and experience an entire Winter Wonderland out there in Clearbrook Park. We've been promoting them, and thankfully now we get a chance to learn a bit more about the behind-the-scenes things, how they run the show, who's running the show, all that. It's kind of cool that here we're in this county and city of Virginia here that is a little more rural, but we have fun, fancy things like this that you can go do as a family.
And it was really interesting. Just some of the things that you're going to find out, I think, are going to be really pretty fascinating. Yeah,
and I unfortunately was not a part of this conversation.
Yes, very unfortunately.
Megan was able to grab the reins and chat with Tony Baker, the marketing manager of the Frederick County Parks and Rec, and Ashley Ferguson, the program supervisor, to talk about the Winter Wonderland at Clearbrook Park. So, here's Megan's chat with them.
Well, welcome, Tony and Ashley with Frederick County Parks and Rec. So glad to have you guys here on Iconic Talk with us today. So what do you guys are here to talk to us a little bit about the Winter Wonderland. So I'm really excited. I've been. I'm sure several of our listeners have been as well. But before we get into that, just kind of want to get to know a little bit about you guys and what brought you to Winchester. So okay. Ashley or Tony, whoever wants to go first.
You can go ahead.
Okay, perfect. I'm Ashley Ferguson. I'm a program supervisor with Frederick County Parks and Rec. I grew up in this area. And I went to Raleigh for about 10 years, lived down that way, and then just decided to relocate back to the area. And I've been back here for about 3 years, enjoying kind of the new experience of being back in town. And So I started working for Frederick County Parks and Rec when I moved back, only in the area probably a month before I started working for them. And so just in charge of Winter Wonderland as my event, one of the special events. And yeah.
So let me ask you, where did you go to school then if you're local?
I went to Virginia Tech.
Okay, so you went to Virginia Tech for college. Now, what about if you were in Winchester, what high school did you go to?
Sharando.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. I was the first graduating class from there. So that
perfect.
might show my age a little bit more now that school's been around for coming up. This is the 30th year.
I get it. Yeah.
Crazy that the school's been around that long. So, all right, Tony, what about you?
All right, so I'm not from here.
Okay.
I grew up in northeastern Ohio, and I went to WVU. And while I was there, I was home for a weekend, and I met my wife, who's from here. She went to James Wood. She was going to the College of Worcester,
okay.
And I was hanging out with some friends from high school, and they went to the college and met at a house party, basically. But then while I was at WVU, I interned with Dario Savarese, doing marketing here in town, and then after I graduated from college, I went and worked at Randolph College for a while, and then Belmont Abbey College in Charlotte, and then ended up in Hilton Head. And,
I'm sure that was nice, at least for the weather and the beach.
Yeah, most of our families kind of headed that way, and both my sister and her family and my wife's sister and her family, they live down there. And but we came back for after a few years of being down there, we came back to Winchester, and I started working for the chamber, and I worked there. I was their marketing person for about 4.5 years, and then started working at Parks and Rec, and I've been there for about a little over 7 now.
All right, wonderful. Now, are you guys, so you're married. Do you have any kids?
I do have 2.
Okay.
I have almost 4-year-old and one that's like 13 months.
Oh, you've got a little one.
Yeah, so does she.
Yeah.
Oh, do you? Oh, so what are you married with kids also, Ashley?
Yes, I have a stepson. He's almost 11.
Awesome.
And then I have a baby who's almost 10 months old.
Oh, you've got walking yet? Are either one of them? Okay.
Mine's not walking.
No.
Crawling all over the place, doing the scooting on the furniture. But yeah, this time last year for Winter Wonderland, I was very pregnant, so
I'm sure that was a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, it's a different experience this year.
It's a little bit better,
yes.
and also your child gets to experience it because lights and music are fun for everybody, especially the little ones. So
yeah, she loved it.
Well, awesome. So what kind of led you guys to the jobs that you have today? I know you touched on it a little bit with the colleges. So did you get a degree in marketing from WVU?
It was actually communications.
Okay.
And I actually worked at those 2 colleges, not in that field, but I was a lacrosse coach.
Awesome.
So I worked at those 2 schools doing that as an assistant coach. And then I was doing all sorts of stuff down in Hilton Head, and then came back up here and it was kind of right time, right place, I guess, and got the job with the chamber as the marketing director there, and then spent time there, and then made my way over to the county.
All right, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with the county parks and recs. That was my first job, was a lifeguard at Sharando Pool.
So many people say
that.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing how many people say, like, my first job was with Parks and Rec doing whatever it might have been, but it's crazy.
It really
how many times,
speaks to how many seasonal staff members we hire.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I have a scar somewhere over here. There it is, right there, from after hours. That was more of we were trying to jump in the pool with a Barney umbrella, thinking I was being funny in the deep end, and the umbrella snapped and cut me. So don't do that, anybody.
Yeah.
Wasn't smart, but now I have that to remind me of my time as lifeguard at Sharando.
Oh, that's awesome.
Again, back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Ooh, you don't realize how fast time goes by until you stop and you think and that kind of stuff. So it's crazy. So, well, let me get a little bit more information from you guys about what's the Parks and Rec program that you guys are involved in with the Winter Wonderland. So tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So I guess, Ashley, if you want to kick it off, so Ashley's the program supervisor for Winter Wonderland. And just, I guess, a brief general thing. So we have we're up to 6 now program supervisors and a basic rec manager. And each one of them have, their annual calendar of events and programs. So we're offering a ton of stuff. This happens to be one of our biggest programs or program/events, Winter Wonderland. But yeah, Ashley's doing a great job. I do want to kick off
Sure.
some of the program.
Yeah, so Walking in a Winter Wonderland is an event at Clearbrook Park. For those who aren't familiar, I know a lot of people in the area already know what
Right.
it is, but it is a walking tour of a light show that we have out there, half-mile loop in the park, and it runs from November 25th, which is always the Black Friday, and then the day, New Year's Day. So this year it is going to be the 1st, and we're closed we're closed Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a really fun event. $6.50 per person plus processing fees for ages 3 and up, and 0 to 2 are free. And anything else you want to highlight, Tony?
No, I mean, so I guess we get some questions typically that kind of are repeat questions. One is, what is the walking path like? It's fully paved, it's flat, so it's easy for a wheelchair to get around. Dogs are welcome on Sundays as long as they're leashed and well behaved. That's another question that we get frequently. But it's something that we get people from not just Winchester, Frederick County, but people from like a large region around us that come to this program. I ran some numbers last year for tourism, and it was something around 60% of people that purchased tickets. So it may have been grandma and grandpa who came in from out of town and took the family there,
Right.
But I think that the transactions that went through, 60% of the addresses associated with those transactions were from outside of our zip codes.
That's
which is
fascinating.
impressive. Yeah.
It was. And this year we have new software that we're really excited about. It's a lot easier for people to pre-register online. It's very user-friendly. And it also gives us a lot of statistical details. So almost like a heat map of where...
Demographics.
Exactly.
And that'll be kind of fun to go over and analyze that.
Yeah.
I like that kind of thing. So to me, that would be fun. Most people probably not. But
I don't know how many states are so I like to, when we have our running series run at the top, and for the Battlefield Half Marathon and the Thanksgiving Day race, it's always fun to go in and see how many states are represented.
Right.
And I think that the Thanksgiving Day race ended up at 24
different states.
Yeah. So people are coming home for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's true.
Type of thing. Yeah,
with their families, and then choosing to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, but when they're registering, they have to use their home address. So it's interesting just to see where everyone's coming from. I know some of our races we've had people from Germany, and when it gets down to it's kind of crazy.
That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, but so the Winter Wonderland obviously draws a lot of people from a large area.
So how many years have you guys been doing this? What year is this?
The 21st year.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I remember my daughter was a year old, so she's going to be 14 here in December. And so I remember that was the first time that we went to it, was having them, and we pack up all our kids. I've got a blended family. There's 4 children, and we all made hot chocolate and piled them all into the car, and then, got to go wander around. And that was when you parked on the other side over by, I guess, the baseball fields.
Right. Yeah.
And you went in that way. But it's such a fun family experience, and Santa Claus is typically there, isn't he? And Mrs. Claus, or is
Yes.
it just Santa? Are they there every night, or are there particular nights that they're there?
They're there every night. Yep.
Okay.
Santa and Mrs. Claus. They're there until the 23rd.
Okay.
So they obviously return to the North Pole.
They have things to do,
Exactly,
of course.
yes. And so their last night will be December 23rd. We also have Barnabas, the giant elf on a shelf.
that's
That
cool.
is, he's mischievous and can be found in different locations of the park. Same till the 23rd, and then he will also return to the North Pole. But we have signs up, for families as they enter. Can you find Barnabas the elf on the shelf?
It's life size, so it's
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. That thing is cool.
That's
Yeah,
and
he kind of creeped people out in our
not
office
a person.
for a while.
Is it? It really is just a.
It's a
life-size
elf on the shelf.
That's awesome.
We had it in our office a couple years ago, leading up to Winter Wonderland. Like, before a lot of our programs, there's a lot of prep that goes on inside the actual office, and so it kind of becomes like a storage room, sort of. And
that has to be a little creepy walking in and.
Barnabas, sat at that table. There was a table in a common area, and he just kind of hung out there for a while. And if you walked in and the lights were off or something, it was.
But he was particularly mischievous. You'd find him in closets when you would go to.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we
now,
have a good time.
you guys also have concessions sometimes too? Is that an all the time thing where you can get drinks and snacks? I think.
Yep. So this year the Boy Scouts are returning for us, and they are out there every single night. They have hot chocolate, warm cookies, sodas, and then packaged cookies as well. So, and that's all additional sales. So. It's $2 per cup for hot chocolate and $2 for a warm cookie. So definitely affordable prices, and it's a fundraiser for them. So, the proceeds go back to the Boy Scouts fully, and they are able to, make this a huge fundraiser for their group.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how many lights are there that you guys have to put out?
So
This is a hotly debated question.
Okay.
Thing.
Nobody actually went through and counted each individual one, so I'm sure there's somewhat of a guesstimate. But
No, so the park staff this year, they estimate that we have close to 1 million lights.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they've really done an excellent job this year adding a bunch of lights. So each year they rent a lift. And this year they rented it for 2 weeks, and they purchased a ton of lights to decorate even more trees in the park, which I think has really made a big impact. I think a lot of people have had a lot of good feedback this year, just saying that the whole park looks brighter. And I think that renting the lift for 2 weeks really made a difference. And so, they say, 1 million lights. It's pretty impressive.
That is one bill I don't think I would want to see.
The
electric bill after that.
They start putting lights up in early October, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it takes a while to get all of that up.
How long does that actually take, that process then? Is it what it sounds like, maybe about 6 weeks or so?
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty good estimate. And it's all done in-house. So all the Clearbrook full-time staff and seasonal staff, basically from the beginning of October to mid-November, that's what they dedicate their time to. And I know this year the park manager, Mike Reynolds, said it just wouldn't stop raining. And they obviously seasonally mow grass as well. Mm-hmm. And so they just were having to continue mowing at all of the local schools. And they have a lot of grass to mow. And they were really starting to get nervous.
That's one thing that a lot of people actually don't know, too, about our department, is that we maintain all of the school locations. The grounds.
Oh, that's right.
We also take care of all of the athletic fields at the high schools and paint and line them for games and prep them and everything. So, there's the staff at each, the parks, Sharando and Clearbrook, kind of split north and south, and they maintain a lot of acreage in parks and school locations. Right. So they're trying to do that, but also, set up all these lights.
I guess I didn't. I knew that on a smaller level, and I guess I just thought from at Sharando, you see them at Sharando, but it's also in the park. So I wasn't sure if that was just because they're, it's in Sharando Park as well, but I didn't know that. That's pretty fascinating. So they're trying to do their jobs and trying to set this up. So do you have any idea of how many man hours then it takes to kind of put it together?
No idea. I know that Mike said 12 staff members.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so they truly are the elves of Winter Wonderland. We couldn't do it without them, every single one of them. Definitely.
Another cool addition that we have this year is we have this VIP lodge. So essentially we took a park shelter and ordered vinyl sides for it that you can see through. And then we installed an electric heater, sort of like a mini barn heater. And we've got round tables in there, and people can rent this and have a holiday get together in there, and then it includes 50 tickets for them to use, to see the light show while they're there doing the having their party.
So how's that been turning out for you? You've been having people book it, and
Yeah, it's actually done really well.
Yeah. And we've had really good feedback about it.
Yeah.
So it has tables where you can eat, but then there's like a cozy little area with a couch and some chairs and an electric fireplace. There's a Christmas tree, so it has some ambiance. And, because the vinyl is clear, you can kind of see the lights in the background. And, we've had a variety of rentals, like birthday parties, corporate events, and just family gatherings. And it's almost like folks have been using it as like a warming station or a hub, because that is kind of the thing about Winter Wonderland is you're out in the cold.
Yeah, it can be a little chilly out there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fascinating to see if somebody's going to take advantage of it, see it, and then choose maybe even, get married in the Winter Wonderland.
It's not out of the, I mean, it's, people do get married in the parks, and so it's definitely an option now.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And we have a lot of engagements too. So it would be cool to have family and friends gather in that area and then do the engagement in the park.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So if somebody's looking to maybe book that for next year, is there a way that they can do that? Would just be call the county, or just kind of wait until it's, in the fall?
Yeah, you can go online, fcprd.net, and you can find, get more information about the VIP Lodge. You can call us at 540-665-5678. Pretty easy number.
Oh, yeah.
5678.
I remember that from many years ago. It's still the same. It's always been kind of easy to find. So were there any other kind of fun facts that you guys had that we didn't touch on?
Not really. I mean, so it's a huge program, and it takes a lot of people. We have, staff that we hire on for it. Some of them are, lifeguards in the summertime, and they come on for the month that we're doing it. But it's a program that typically sees, let's just say 32 to almost 40,000 people that go through it every year. So it's there's a lot of foot traffic that goes through that park during this program. And it's something that, the park staff does a really great job, and really everyone, who gets involved in this thing does a great job. It wouldn't work without everyone's help.
And you can also get group tickets for different types of groups, athletic groups or work groups, that sort of thing.
Yep.
And the new software actually has breakdowns, and so you'll automatically get the discount based on how many tickets you're buying, which is really nice. And then with the new software, you can just forward that email confirmation out to the parties in your group, and everybody can check in individually and then meet up in the event. So it's really a great new software system, and we're happy to have it.
Well, I think I'll probably be out there this Saturday. I think I mentioned when we talked briefly yesterday that my daughter's swim team, she's with the Phoenix swim team in Strasburg, so I know they're coming Saturday night. So I'll get an opportunity to see it. I've been trying the past couple of years to make sure that we get out there. I think we went right after Christmas, maybe on the 26th last year, and it's just so beautiful. And I'm not sure if most people probably know this. It's a half a mile loop, but you can walk it as many times as you want to. So once you're in there, your ticket's good for however long you choose to stay until it closes, and then make your way, your way home. But
and I'm glad you mentioned that, because we do have half-hour time slots, but those are entry times. So like you said, once you get in there, you can stay as long as you'd like. And this Saturday will be a busy day for us. We do anticipate it being one of the peak days. So definitely anyone who comes this weekend, just try and be patient. We will have the sheriff's office out there helping with traffic control to keep traffic flowing in and out. So, we just ask anyone who comes on the couple weekends leading up to Christmas, just please be patient. We're doing the best we can getting people in and out.
And have your tickets purchased in advance. That's another really key thing to getting everybody in quickly, and have your QR code that comes with your ticket in your email ready, so that the staff, that are working in the ticket booths can scan those and get you in.
And did I see something where they're only taking credit cards?
Yes.
I was
at
just
the
about
booths?
to say that. Yes, thank you for highlighting it. It is $650 plus processing fees in advance, but it's $850 at the gate, and it is credit card only. Yes.
So get your tickets ahead of time, and where can they go to get those?
You can go to fcprd.net. And there's a button right at the top of the page that'll take you to the Winter Wonderland website. And just quickly, I'd like to, thank Navy Federal Credit Union and Small Solutions Heating and Air. They've come on as our presenting sponsors, and it's a huge help.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you both for being here. And, for anybody listening, get out there, go take a look at it. Clearbrook Park. It's a great experience. Well, thank you.
Thanks for having
Yeah,
us.
thanks very much.
Well, thanks, Megan, and thank you to Tony and Ashley. You have no idea what goes on behind the scenes for something like that.
No,
right?
no, not at all. And it's funny because you asked me to join you as a guest, however many episodes
Sure,
ago.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
the next time I was like, you know what? How about you be a co-host?
Yeah.
And then somehow I turned
Rope you
into the host, and I was not prepared. So, I hope it went well, but I did really learn some really fascinating things. So a couple of things that I learned was I didn't know that Frederick County Parks and Rec, not only do they take care of the parks, they take care of all of the school properties. So they were having to mow and deal with all kinds of different things at all the different schools because we kept getting so much rain and try to set this up. So the staff is just absolutely amazing. How long it took, they started in October to set up, and it began, the first one was, I guess, on the 25th of November. They start Black Friday. So that was really that was fascinating.
All kinds of new things that you learn, you know?
And the other thing I thought was really cool was how many states are represented. How many people from out of state actually come and, participate and get to walk through this and see it. So it's not just a local thing. There's almost seemed like more people were from out of state than our locals.
Again, surprising. Like I said in the very beginning of the show, it's surprising how a little area like us can put on something big and fun and special like that for our town and for our community. And for just a small fee. I mean, we're not talking about we're spending tons of money here to go get tickets for something like this either.
No, not at all. And definitely, if you're going to do it, save yourself the money and the stress and just get your tickets online. Sure. It was cheaper to do it that way. And if you do happen to go to the gate and you don't do them online, just make sure you have your credit card because that is the only way that you can pay.
Yep.
But I would really like to have them back come spring because there's a lot of different programs that they put on. And so they were talking to me kind of off mic about some of the other things that they have. So definitely I want to get them back.
Yep. Again, we just like supporting our local community and, being able to just highlight what goes on around here and to learn more about it. And I think it's beneficial for everybody to know so you can appreciate it more.
Well, speaking of highlighting things that are going on in our area, of course, we do have the Walking in a Winter Wonderland, which we were just talking about with Tony and Ashley. And that is under 2 is free, 3 and over is $6.50 when you get them the same, get them online, or $8.50 at the door. So that's going to be going on and through January 1st. And of course, it was funny. They did mention that on the 23rd and 24th, they are closed. And that is when, Santa won't be there on the 23rd and 24th because, he's got things he's got to do. He's busy.
Can't be here.
So definitely check out the Walking in a Winter Wonderland at Clearbrook Park. There's also a cookie walk going on this Saturday from 9 to 1 at the Market Street United Methodist Church. There's going to be baked goods, live arrangements, soup sandwiches, all kinds of goodies. This, I think, is really awesome. The Wreaths Across America. Yeah. It's the ceremony. It's Saturday on the 17th. You can sponsor a wreath or volunteer to place the wreaths at the Winchester National Cemetery. Volunteers arrive at 11 a.m. and the ceremony begins at 12. So if you want to become part of being able to place those wreaths on the different tombs, that's really that's really cool.
Yep. Awesome.
We've also got the Christmas Fun Day for kids of all ages. That's also Saturday 1 to 3 at the Gainsborough Rowington Club. They're going to decorate cookies, crafts, games, hot cocoa, and also cookies with Santa.
All kinds of Christmas things to
Lots
do
of Christmas
around here.
things to do.
Love it.
No excuse for kids to be bored.
Right. Yeah.
All kinds of different options and places you can take them during the day, and obviously in the evening with Walking in a Winter Wonderland.
Yep. Totally. Yeah, I love it. And talking about kind of our local community, I'm excited about even next week. We're going to get a chance to have an interview with Richard Bell, local recently elected city council member for the city of Winchester, who also is in the real estate community. So we'll have a little bit of just fun camaraderie talking about both the city and real estate and kind of big picture stuff, what's happening behind the scenes with city council. So excited to hear from him next week. So
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so thanks so much for joining us this week on an episode of Iconic Talk. We hope you learned something from today's episode. Look forward to sharing more with you next week. Remember, when you look for a real estate professional, make sure they are experienced, innovative, personal, dedicated, and available.
We appreciate you spending some of your valuable time with us. And if you have a moment, we'd love it if you would take a moment to subscribe and share this podcast with your friends.
Yep. And thanks again to our editor extraordinaire, Cindy Natalia. Until next time, think iconic.